Welcome back. So today is a couple weeks before NHL free agency, and I thought I'd look at the class this year. And so I'll start first. I ordered them by points leaders. I'm including numbers off cap friendly, but they include total games played through the season. So that includes playoffs and regular season. So Gabriel Landeskog is the top free agent this year based off points. He's 28 years of age. He in this season he played 64 games played, 24 goals, 41 assists, 65 points in the playoffs and the regular season. So he's over a point per game this year. He's the captain. I think he probably stays in Colorado. I think probably make around 8 million, maybe close to 7, 8 maybe. So that's Landeskog. Next up, David Krejci, who's 35 years of age. 62 games played, 10 goals, 34 assists for 53 points. Great season. Slow start, but great season, especially after Taylor Hall came. He was having a great year. He is 35 years of age, and I don't think he'll make probably like a 1 to 3 year deal, maybe around 3.5 to no, it's about 5 million probably. Whoever teams, I don't know if he stays in Boston. I think they try to get a little younger, maybe add someone else that's probably lower on the list that's a bit younger. They do need a new number two center. If your 1 and 2 center spot is Bergeron and Krejci, that's pretty old. That's genuinely old. It's good, but it's old. So unless Krejci can do what he's doing this year again, who knows? Next up, Tyson Barrie. He was 29 years of age. He's played 60 games played, 8 goals, 41 assists, 49 points. He's a right defenseman. He had a great year with Edmonton. Solid, good enough defensively, great offense, especially on the power play. I know they're all secondary assists and assists and assists. I don't want to get into that garbage argument. So, where I think he goes elsewhere. I don't think he resigns in Edmonton. He might not. Maybe they acquired Duncan Keith as that is your bottom pair. Why not? But I think he'll get paid this year. Stick it. 5 to 7 year deal, maybe close to at least 5 million, 5 to 7 million. I think for Tyson Barrie this year. Next up is Dougie Hamilton, who is 28 years of age, 66 games played, 12 goals, 35 assists for 47 points. He's also a right defenseman. And he is a pretty good defenseman. He's probably going to get a Pietrangelo level deal. It's maybe a deal that looking 5 years into the future when he's in his mid 30s, a deal that the team who signs him, whoever it may be, maybe Carolina, maybe someone else, maybe the Leafs. Why am I the Leafs? Because they'll sign everyone if they can. It may be a deal they regret, but in the years that they'll have him, he'll want him. Next up on the list is Ovechkin, who's 35 years of age. He played 50 games played this year. He was injured for the last little bit of the season, so first time in a long time he's ever been injured. He is 35. He scored 26 goals, 20 assists, 45 points. He's a winner. Play outside the wing. I think he stays in excuse me, sorry. I think he stays in Washington. I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't see why he doesn't. I think he stays in Washington. Next up, Blake Coleman of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who was 29 years of age. He played 78 games played. This is his second cup of back-to-back years. 17 goals, 25 assists, 42 points. And he is a good middle six player. I don't think he's a first line player. I know all the analytics say he might be, but in New Jersey, he showed when he's in the first line, he's not exactly that great. It's good, not that great. Coleman, he should be around 2 to 5 million over about maybe a 3-year deal, 3 to 6 year deal, I think. A team like Edmonton could really add a. Tampa Bay can't re-sign him. There's no way Tampa can re-sign him. They're already over the cap, and the cap's not going up. Next up, Taylor Hall was 29 years of age. 6 point. I'm so sorry. No idea why I'm yawning today. 64 games played, 13 goals, 25 assists, 38 points. Now in Boston he was electric. Really good player. Really showed his worth. I think he does stay in Boston. Yeah, he'll probably stay in Boston. Probably around $6 million a year. I don't know about the term. I genuinely don't know how long he'll want to stay for. Probably around 4 years, $6 million. But yeah, good player. He's a left winger, and he plays on Boston. Next up, the 33-year-old Alec Martinez. In 75 games, 13 goals, 25 assists, 38 points. He's a left defenseman. And this should be interesting. Does Vegas keep him? Can they afford to keep him? He is 33, so I'm not expecting a long-term deal. I think 2 years, $3 to $5 million probably. But that's in Vegas. He's a good two-way defenseman. In his past, he was known for his defensive skills, his shot blocking, which he still does fantastically. Considering he played in the playoffs with a broken butt, that's saying something. And he was still fantastic. So yeah, he probably stays in Vegas if they can afford him. Next up, a 31-year-old Mike Hoffman. In 56 games played, he was injured during the season, and he did play 4 games in the playoffs, I believe. 18 goals, 19 assists, 37 points, currently on St. Louis. I don't know if he stays in St. Louis. I think he's gone. I think he was just a hired gun. I think a team, that needs help on the wing could probably sign him for about $3 to $5 million. For about he probably wants a longer term deal, probably around $4 million for 4 years, $4 million could be good enough for him. A team like Vancouver, who wants to go back in the playoffs next year, could absolutely try it. Yeah, so that could be it. I think it's a good choice, and we'll see where he goes. Next up, Zach Hyman. He is 29 years of age, played 50 games. He was injured in the regular season and a couple games in the playoffs. So 50 games played, 16 goals, 18 assists, 34 points. He's a winger. All rumors indicate that he's gone to Toronto. He doesn't come back. He's just out. Where does he go? Who knows? Any place that need help on the wing. Probably not top line winger. I don't see him as a top line winger on most teams. On Toronto, he had no choice in being that because he had no one else to put him there. So probably second or third line is a good hard worker, very hard worker. He's a left wing Gallagher, the way I put it. So yeah, move on to Brandon Saad, who is 28 years of age, 54 games played, 22 goals, 10 assists, 32 points. He can play either wing, and he's a good player. I think he stays in Colorado. I genuinely think he stays, probably around $4 to $5 million for about 2 or so years. And next up, Michael Granlund from the Nashville Predators. Currently, he's 29 years of age, 57 games, 15 goals, 17 assists, 35 points. I'm not sure where he goes. I think that I think he's gone out of Nashville. Probably looking for someone who's looking for a middle six, winger or center. But yeah, good center. Probably gonna get around those numbers again this year, around 35 points. No, he probably gonna get around 50 points this year. He's only 29, so he's still young. Still young-ish, so it's not that big of a deal. Next up, Matthias Janmark, who's 28 years of age, 72 games, 15 goals, 17 assists, 35 points. He probably is gone from Vegas. Probably gonna get paid a bit, probably around $5 million a year, and we'll see where that goes. Yeah. Next is Paul Stastny, who's 35 years of age, 62 games played, 14 goals, 17 assists, 31 points. He was brought in to try to appease Laine on that second line. Laine was traded for Dubois, so that's that. I think he's gone. He's probably going to get reduced time in wherever team he goes to, probably third line center. Yeah, so that's that. Next up is Thomas Tatar of the Montreal Canadiens. He's gone to Montreal, I'll tell you that right now. 55 games played, 10 goals, 15 assists, 31 points. He's 30 years of age. He probably gets a Craig Smith type deal. I think he... Where? It's hard to judge where he would go, but I think he's not going back to Montreal, I'll tell you that much. Probably going to, maybe Calgary as a third line. Maybe he goes to Florida. A team that will need top 9 wing help. He can play first line, he can play second line, he can play third line. Anywhere you put him there, he'll be fine. Next is Alex Wennberg, who's 26, so he's one of the younger free agents here. He's a centerman. He was bought out last year, so he's 26. He's 26. 62 games played, 18 goals, 13 assists. And yeah, I think he probably gets at least $3 million. He had a really good season in Florida. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. Next is Mike Riley, who was 26 years of age. In 66 games played, no goals, but 31 assists. Could have put the puck in the ocean, but he was good on the blue line in 31 points. I think Boston keeps him. I genuinely think they keep him. He's young. I don't think he should be a top 4 defenseman. I think it's more of a career year for him, points wise. I think he's better off as your bottom pair defenseman, but a blue line that's a little weak outside McAvoy, and they need that 4th top 4 defenseman. Grzelcyk's fine, top 4. Carlo's good. McAvoy's fantastic. Not an okay blue line. They need another one that's another proper top 4 defenseman. Next up, Corey Perry, who's 36 years of age. In 71 games played, 13 goals, 18 assists, 31 points. Passed through waivers this year, which blew my mind in the beginning of the year that he actually did it. Great run in Montreal. Great. I think Montreal keeps him. Probably under $1 million for not that long, but comes back. I think he comes back. Next up, Kyle Palmieri. 30 years of age, 70 games played, 17 goals, 13 assists, 30 points. He's probably a rental. I don't know where he'd go, but probably around $3 to $5 million for about 2 to 5 years. I'd say for him. Next up is Philippe Danault of the Montreal Canadiens. 28 games played, 28 years of age, 75 games played, 6 goals, 22 assists, 28 points. Centerman, he is, for my money, the best pure shutdown centerman in the league. You put him against superstars, he will shut them down pretty darn well. He did in the playoffs. He was okay in the regular season. I think he'll get paid this year. $5 to $7 million, I think he's going to get. He probably wants long term too. Probably pay him into the mid-30s. So it'll be about 6 years, $7 million. 7 years, $6 million. Yeah, I think he's gonna stay in Montreal though. I want him back as your third line center. You need him. You don't need him as number one centerman because he's not a number one centerman. You need him as your second or third line centerman. A team like Toronto could pick him up. They could. They'd have to pay for him to come there because he probably wants to stay in Montreal. But we'll see. Next up is a 33-year-old Nick Bonino in 62 games played, 10 goals, 16 assists, 26 points. In Minnesota, probably just a rental. No idea where he goes, but probably not coming back. Next up, Barclay Goodrow of the Tampa Bay Lightning. The winger, he's 28 years of age, 72 games played, 8 goals, 18 assists, 26 points. Probably goes to a team that needs good grit third line help. Barclay Goodrow's a really good player, and I don't know where he'll end up, but I think he'll be there. That's the best way of putting it. I don't know how else to say it. Next up, Eric Halla, who's 30 years of age, played for the Nashville Predators. 57 games played, 10 goals, 15 assists, 25 points. Someone looking for a third line, for a bottom 9 player. I think he's good enough. And we'll see where he ends up. No idea where he ends up, but I think he'll end up somewhere. Best way of putting it. He's still somewhat young. But hey, you could go back to Vegas. They do need help. They could work out a trade someone else, and he can come back in. Next up, Travis Zajac, who's 36 years of age, 60 games played, 3 goals, 19 assists, 22 points. Centerman for the Islanders. Don't know where he goes. Probably not going back to the Islanders, but we'll see where he goes. He's probably going to be in the bottom 6 role next year. Considering his age, probably 4th line centerman. I don't know where he goes, but yeah, probably under $3 million for his next contract, I'd say. Yes, easily under $3 million. That's that. Next up, Alex Goligoski, who's 35 years of age, played 56 games played. Didn't miss a single game in the regular season. No playoffs for Arizona. He's a defenseman. He can play either side. 3 goals, 19 assists, 22 points. If you're a team that's looking for, a power play quarterback, you get Alex Goligoski playing their bottom pair. Playing their bottom pair with someone who can cover for him defensively. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to think of a team that. Yeah, it's hard to. I don't know where he goes. He's not going back to Arizona. Arizona's looking to revamp the blue line because most of them are expiring. I think they only have two major defensemen that are left, OEL and Chychrun. And yeah, we'll see where he ends up. Next up, Yoel Armia, the Montreal Canadiens. 28 games played, 20 years of age, 62 games played, 15 goals, 10 assists, 22 points. Sorry, so it's backwards writing because the selfie camera, so it's hard to read sometimes. I don't remember off the top of my head. And he's a winger. I think he doesn't stay in Montreal. I think he goes somewhere. Probably gets paid a decent amount. I think he's okay as in your top 9. I don't think first line, but anywhere from the anywhere from the second, third, or fourth line, I think he's good. He's good on a regular season, 20 goals, 25 assists. He could have a huge breakthrough year in somewhere, given all the minutes he could ever want. He had that a couple years back in Montreal, when he was in the top 6, mostly because he had to be, and he was really good. That's about it. Next up, 33-year-old Nick Foligno played 53 games played, 7 goals, 14 assists, 21 points, and he's a forward. You put him in center, he'll play center. You can play on either wing too. I got a funny feeling he stays in Toronto. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I'm feeling it. I'm feeling he stays in Toronto. Next up, Jaden Schwartz, who's 29 years of age. 44 games played, 8 goals, 31 assists, 21 points. That's too low. That is flat out too low for him. He's gonna bounce back. He's gonna bounce back big, I think. Whatever team signs, I genuinely think he's gonna stay in St. Louis. And yeah, I think he's staying in St. Louis. I just don't know for how long or how much, but he's staying. Next up, Matthew Perreault, who's 33 years of age. Um, 64 games played, 10 goals, 11 assists, 21 points. He's a winger. Good bottom six winger. I don't think he stays in Winnipeg. I think he goes somewhere else. Maybe he goes to Toronto. Maybe he comes to Montreal. He could go to a team that needs bottom six scoring depth. A team like Toronto. A team like Edmonton. Team like teams. Yeah, so I think he's staying at I think he's staying at. I think he's going somewhere else. Next up, 36-year-old Mark Stahl. Eric Stahl, sorry. Mark Stahl's defenseman. He's a centerman. 36 years of age, 74 games played, 7 goals, 14 assists for 21 points. He was good in the playoffs, terrible in the regular season. Montreal and Toronto. Montreal and Buffalo. And I think he does stay in Montreal. He had a good chemistry with Perry and Armia. And I think he stays for a bottom six role. I don't know where he goes. Wherever he goes, he's going to be in the bottom six now. He is too old to be in a top six role. I genuinely think that. And he had a good season, and he'll be good in the playoffs. Next up, Joe Thornton of the Leafs. 42 years of age, 51 games played, 6 goals, 15 assists, 21 points. He still has the playmaking abilities. I think he doesn't retire. I think he comes back. He probably come back to San Jose, I think. Come back one more year, retires, plays with Marleau. And we'll see. Next up, Arizona Coyotes, Derek Brassard. And 53 games played, 8 goals, 15 assists, 20 points. Sorry, that's 12 assists. 8 goals, 12 assists for them. And I don't know where he ends up. I think he probably goes. But who knows to where? I don't know how much. I don't know how long, really. I don't know much about the player off the top of my head. But we'll see. Next up is Kyle Bozak of the St. Louis Blues. 35 years of age. 35 games played. 8 goals. 21 assists. You could play the center or you could play in the right wing. He's either going to retire or you're going to sign as a fourth line goal. I don't know where he ends up. Probably no more than $2 million. And we'll see. Next up, Casey Cizikas, part of the identity line in the New York Islanders. So he's staying in New York, I think. He's only 30 years of age. 75 games played, 9 goals, 10 assists, 19 points. He is an ideal bottom six centerman. If that's what you expect out of him, that's what he'll give you. And I think he's staying with the Islanders for around $3 million. Next up, Cody Ceci of the Penguins. 27 games played, 27 years of age, 59 games played, 4 goals, 15 assists, 19 points. He played well. He had a bounce back year after a year in Toronto where it's kind of best way of putting it. Probably gets around bottom four defenseman. Probably not someone you want to play in your top pair. Probably on your bottom pair defenseman. Probably around $3 million a year, I'd say, for about 3 years. That's about it. Next up, Thomas Nosek. 28 years of age, 44 games played, 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points. Probably stays in Vegas as their fourth line centerman again. Plays well with Reeves. And that's about it. He's a good physical presence. Should be good. Probably around $1 million. Not too much. Next up, Brandon Montour of the Florida Panthers. And is 27 years of age, 56 games played, 7 goals, 11 assists, 18 points. He's going to be an underrated pickup this year. I genuinely feel he's going to be an underrated pickup. I don't know where he goes, but wherever he goes, he'll be he's a top 4 defenseman. They can play top 4 minutes, no problem. He played well in Buffalo. He's traded from Buffalo. to Florida, and I think, yeah, he's probably really good. Probably gonna get an underrated, under the radar signing for whoever team signs him. So yeah, that's the major free agency that I could film. I fit as much magnets, as much writing I can on the board with it being legible at some point. This is just my thoughts on the free agency class. It's a decent enough class where some can get paid, some get overpaid. It's an average class, I think, this year. And we'll see where it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss a new upload. And have a great day.